As our understanding of safety has shifted over the years and how we've shifted how we believe accidents and incidents happen, it became necessary to think about, well, how do we treat people who have been involved in an accident or an incident? Whereas traditionally maybe people would have been blamed, it became apparent that, well, blaming people for making an error or being involved in an event unintentionally seems a little unfair. So particularly in the 90s and 2000s, organizations began to talk a lot about just culture. And aviation and the nuclear industry are probably two industries that are most associated with just culture. While well-intentioned, there are limitations associated with traditional just culture approaches. Probably the most obvious limitation is the fact that just culture is very much surrounded in this idea of, well, just culture is about what are appropriate consequences for people who make an error at work or are involved in an event. You may have seen tools just like a just culture culpability model, where we start with, okay, what is the individual's role in this particular event? Was it intentional? Was there some other kind of mitigating circumstances? Were there drug and alcohol involvement, and so forth? But it still starts from almost the assumption that the person involved is guilty until proven innocent. And the very best outcome is, well, it was a completely blameless error, and therefore there is no consequence. So really, this isn't about being just or necessarily about being fair. It's about deciding what's the most appropriate consequence for a person who's been involved in an accident or an incident. Now, I think we can go better than what's the most appropriate consequence. This isn't the only way of thinking about justice or fairness after something has gone wrong. Surely an organization is as interested in accountability rather than just what is an appropriate consequence. Now, accountability oftentimes gets conflated with blame. We need to hold people accountable. Sometimes that just means, who is the person we need to blame in this particular event? Well, accountability also involves people sharing their account. It involves people being involved in learning and improvement, i.e. being part of the solution and how do we move forward from here rather than what should be the consequence from what happened in the past. So just culture should be, as much as anything, be not just about, is this person guilty or not? What should be the consequence be? It's, well, how do we re-engage this person? How do we make them part of the solution? How do we empower them? Assuming they want to engage in that process. More often than not, people are more than willing and want to be part of the solution rather than just worry about what's the consequence going to be. So after you have an event, rather than thinking who is to blame, what should the consequence be, our question should be more around, how did this happen? How are the people involved in the event doing? What role can they play in helping us learn and improve and get better?